Hi there, my name is Cole, and today we're going to be upgrading some of my favorite LEGO Speed Champions models, and I'm going to show you how I do it in hopes of inspiring you to do the same. In this video, I'll be turning a race car into a road car, I'll be adding a wide body to this Porsche, I'll be adding drift car mods to this supercar, and I'll be turning a normal car into a track day car. So let's start out here with this Murcielago that I made a very long time ago, and so I thought it would be fun to try modifying it into a drift car. There's a real Murcielago drift car, it's really extreme, but it would kind of end up looking like these other models that I've built if I tried it in LEGO, so I wanted to try something that was a bit more subtle, if you want to use that word for this car. So I started by adding negative camber, and this technique right here adds a little bit of camber. It like makes the wheel touch the top of the fender without looking kind of too crazy. And so I tore apart the whole front of the car and put the parts in, and tore apart the whole rear of the car and put these parts in, and I put some different wheels on there to see how they look. I then wanted to modify the interior, not something that's not often with LEGO cars, but it feels much cooler knowing it's there. I tore out the tan colored interior and proceeded to add a more aggressive racing seat, a racing looking steering wheel formed with this game controller piece, and a big sequential shifter bar. As I am saying this, I realized I forgot to add a handbrake, but it's a bit late for that at this point. Next, I really wanted to add a roll cage, another detail that's not added to LEGO cars that often, but it can be a super cool subtle detail. I gathered a ton of cage-looking bar parts and connected them with various clip pieces, connected them to the roof. I found these bent bar parts that lined up super nicely with the A-pillars, and this made a massive difference toward making it look more kind of race car, drift car. I changed up the rear bumper a bit, I just took a bunch of parts off basically, made it look a bit more extreme. I added some wheels that I liked better. These printed tires are from Brick Sticker Shop, and this aero disc is a 2x2 round tile with a printed out aero disc pattern taped to it. And overall, I think it makes for kind of an unusual looking drift car, but it still looks really sick, and if you could do some sort of livery made with stickers or something, it would look even cooler. Next, I wanted to take this E46 M3 I built and add some track car parts, mostly aerodynamic stuff. So I took this one apart to add some negative camber, but only in the front, because most track cars just have it in the front. And so I used the same technique as I did in the Murcielago. I added some transparent yellow parts for the headlights. I'm not sure why some race cars have these, but they look really cool. I added some different plates to the front for a larger front splitter. This is pretty simple stuff, but it does make a difference, making it look more aggressive. I added some vents in the hood and then a large wing on hinges to add a bit of an angle. This is another car that would look good with a roll cage, but I wanted to make this one a little bit of a simpler modification so you guys can see how that would go. I decided to keep the wheels on this one because they're some of my favorite LEGO wheel designs. And overall, I like this one, and it would probably look a bit sportier if it was like a lighter color so you could see the upgrades so they would contrast with the body, but I still think it looks pretty sick. Then I wanted to try something a little bit higher effort, considering the last one was pretty simple. So I had this Porsche 911 sitting around, and I wanted to make an RWB wide body for it. So I just wanted to make the rear fenders half a plate wider on each side, and then keep the front the way it is, because otherwise it looks a bit silly in LEGO. And so I took the rear apart and just put the rear fenders half a plate out on each side. I just secured them from the top and reinforced them, and I added the same parts as the last two models for the rear negative camber, because on RWB it needs to be sitting on the ground and needs to have that very nice fit for the wheels. Next came the wing. I began by taking the rear vent here apart and then integrating some hinges and using towels and brackets for the lower part of the wing. I wanted to go for one of those massive silly RWB wings, so I added these plates with bars to the sides and then built the second wing to attach to them. The roof I originally had on this car didn't look very good, so I upgraded it with curved slopes and hinged it on jointed arm pieces so it could sit at an angle. I also built this model with really overcomplicated front section, so I took it apart, added the parts for negative camber in the front, and simplified it while keeping most of the detail. Now with the body finished, I wanted to choose some good wheels for it. I started with the original silver wheels, which looked pretty good, but I thought I could do better. I tried these printed tires with gray rims, and these just look way too big. So then I tried these race car slicks, which are from some recent LEGO Speed Champion sets, and though they stick out a bit in the front, I think they more than make up for it by just looking super awesome. They're unusual, but like, I don't know, they're so like heavy duty looking. I think they look so sick. But once I put them on, the side sills, the side skirts I guess, were looking a bit high, so I took them apart and then added some brackets facing down to fill the gap. I added some final detail by replacing the round plates used for exhaust with candlesticks in gray. Overall, this thing just looks so mean. It's not perfect, and it's not based on any particular like RWB build, but I just think it looks sick, and it's slightly exaggerated proportionally, but it looks great in LEGO in my opinion. Finally, I wanted to try taking a race car and converting it into a road version. So I had this BMW GTP car from the LEGO set on my shelf. Now many people have already taken the M4 from that set and then turned it into like a normal road car, so I thought it'd be cool to try it with the hypercar. So I decided to try making it mostly white and get rid of the red and blue, as if it was some sort of BMW road-going hypercar. I don't, there's plenty of other Paganis and Koenigseggs and stuff, but it'd be kind of cool. Like, what if we had a big BMW hypercar? And so this took quite a while to replace all these parts. I didn't really want to bother removing the stickers because then I have to peel off the residue. But if you did this with non-stickered parts, it would really look like properly clean and really nice. I replaced the stickered taillights with transparent red parts. And I lowered the wing a bit to make it slightly less aggressive than the race car, make it a little bit more road car looking. I also swapped out the windscreen for one without blueprinting. I think this one's from either the McLaren or the Porsche set. I tried these wheels originally, but I didn't like them so much, so I settled on these ones with printing. I put a little aero disc in the front with a 2x2 ground tile. And overall, I think it's very different to look at and very just nice to look at. And with all the stickers removed, maybe a bit more aggressive bodywork changes, it would be like it could be a really cool kind of like concept car, hypercar. So there you have 4 cars modified in various ways that I hope inspired you to try some of your own modifications. So if you have other ideas for modifications, I don't know, put them in the comments. Let me know. Let other people know. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.